Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Frances is a 1982 biographical drama film that stars Jessica Lange as Frances Farmer, who's a troubled actress during the 30s. It also features Kim Stanley, Sam Shepard, Bart Burns, Christopher Pinnock, Jonathan Banks, and Jeffrey DeMunn in supporting roles. The movie is a semi-fictional account of the adult life of Frances. It focuses on the rise and fall of her acting career in the 1930s and early 40s. Growing up in Seattle, the only offspring of milquetoast lawyer Ernest and his wife Lillian, Frances became much like her mother, outspoken and very strong-willed, often speaking out against strongly held societal beliefs of the day. Her want to escape Seattle and become an actress were very strong. This led to a meteoric rise and a studio contract featuring roles in Hollywood movies. She quickly came to the realization that Hollywood and her were completely mismatched, in that the studio wanted complete control over her personal life and career. They treated her largely as if she were just another pretty starlet, rather than a thinking person that had strong views. As much as she tried to escape Hollywood and become more aligned with stage acting in New York City, she was sucked back in time after time by the control, in part by a stereotypical stage mom and her selfish wants for Frances. Despite the studio striking out against Frances in her outspokenness against them, they considered themselves the engine that made her name. The stronger that she rebelled, the stronger the other sides fought back, which led to multiple institutionalizations, regardless of whether she really had truly clinical mental health issues. Her many romantic relationships are shown in the film, but the one constant through it is her friendship and romance with Harry York, who is truly in love with her. Jessica Lange's performance in the film is just unbelievable. She carries herself so well. During this shoot, she and Sam Shepard fell in love, and they ended up having 2 children together, Hannah and Walker. Jessica said that the part was so emotionally taxing, she urged the production company to shoot the film in sequence. But due to trying to lower the budget, the movie was shot out of sequence. For this film and Tootsie from 1982 also, actress Jessica Lange received her first 2 Oscar nominations for acting, one for Best Actress and one for Best Supporting Actress. This was the first time since 1942 that an actress had been nominated for both of these roles in the same year, and it was the 3rd time overall. She lost the Best Actress race, but she won for Best Supporting Actress. The movie was originally based on William Arnold's book, Shadowland, a fictional biography of Frances herself. This was optioned in 1979, but the producers completely jettisoned his involvement in the film. The screenwriters went on to create the character of Harry York, which was completely fictional. They did this because they had to prove that the movie was based on original material. Arnold went on to sue, but he eventually lost this lawsuit. Now, the film does paint a pretty dim picture of California's Department of Mental Health. And as you'll notice in the film's closing credits, it's declared, in exchange for the use of certain facilities per agreement with the California Department of Mental Health, the producers have agreed to the following disclaimer. Since the 1940s, there have been major advances in the care and treatment of the mentally ill. The reprehensible conditions experienced by Frances Farmer are not typical of mental health treatment today. It's kind of interesting that the production company that did the film was Mel Brooks's Brooks Films. Brooks didn't want his name attached to the film at all because he's associated so much with comedy. Even though he was an executive producer on the film, he received no on-screen credit. Now, the nude scene in the film, where Frances is arrested by the policeman breaking into the Knickerbocker hotel room, was particularly frustrating and demanding for Jessica Lange. You see, there was a problem with the bathroom door, which stuck again and again when the actors playing the cops on the other side tried to get it open. The entire scene doesn't last for more than 3 minutes in the film, but it took them almost 3 days to complete this shoot. Lange felt very disgusted, and she almost felt like she was being used and abused as Frances Farmer herself was. There were many actresses that were considered as candidates for the role of Frances Farmer. These included Susan Blakely, Susan Day, Patty Duke, Sally Field, Jane Fonda, and the list goes on with about 10 more names. It's said that this is one of those type roles that every actress waits an entire lifetime for. Jessica Lange ended up getting the part, and it's funny that she had always wanted to play this role after reading Miss Farmer's memoirs in the late 1970s. She was impressed by her very high-strung nature and the overpowering elements of her personality that led to self-destruction. She was a real warrior with misguided heroics. The real Frances Farmer was notorious for her drunken exploits and various stints at mental facilities. She was also the subject of a slew of dark rumors that ran rampant and still do. From the years 1936 to 1958, she appeared in 15 films, alongside some unbelievable stars, people like Bing Crosby and Cary Grant. She was known as much for her crazy private life as she was for the roles that she portrayed. At one point, she was arrested for driving drunk with her car headlights on during a wartime blackout. Police eventually fined her $500, and the judge told her to not be drinking. She eventually never paid her fine, and in 1943, on January 6th, a judge issued a warrant for her arrest. The police tracked her down at the Knickerbocker Hotel, where she had been sleeping naked and drunk, and they forced her to surrender to their custody. She was asked by the judge if she had been drinking, and she stated that she had been drinking everything that she could get her hands on, including Benzedrine, which was speed. After her parents eventually died, she moved to Eureka, California, where she became a bookkeeper. She connected with a television executive named Leland Mikesell, who would go on to eventually marry her and then later divorce her. In 1970, she was diagnosed with esophageal cancer from years of heavy smoking, and she died in August of that same year at the age of 57. Her story is equal parts true despair and devastating myth. Her life would inspire the works of countless artists whose own struggles in some way resemble those of Hollywood's fallen angel. Take a look at this spectacular film. Jessica Lange is completely on top of it in this role. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.